Right, welcome back to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports, everybody. And it is Sevens season starting, and it is a new look Sevens in that they've removed the E's, a new title, a new concept, a new format, but hopefully just as much excitement. And very much looking forward to seeing both the men's and the women's team this season. And I'm joined by former World Cup winner, as well as former Blitzbok player and Sevens player, Bobby Skinstads, who dabbled in a bit of everything whilst he was playing. First of all, thank you so much for giving us your time. Sevens versus 15s. It's, for the layman, it's the same game and yet so different. Can you just give us a bit of an overview? What's it like running out for a sevens team versus a 15s team, and how difficult is it to adapt?
Sure. Look, it's great to be back and nice to chat. Steve, I think, sevens is a game that's evolved so quickly. It's a fantastic game to hone your skills if you're an attacking player. And in particular, we looked at the Rugby World Cup final. Kwagga Smith, was a sevens player for a number of years before he moved across. All three of the outside backs in that Springbok team were sevens specialists before they moved across. Currie was unstoppable as a sevens finishing winger. And I think you got to understand that the game is for the slightly faster, more sort of jackal and tackle and turnover and run kind of players. So you get a lot more of the backs and the loose forwards playing than you would just the pure tight forwards. There's a couple of tight forwards who've played. And Tom Smith, the British and Irish Lions prop, was a famous exponent of sevens and played for the Scottish national team. Actually, we've lost him, and may he rest in peace. But he was one of the finest sevens players I've ever seen. He was super fast. He was a prop, but he was built like a sort of a Kwagga Smith, like a strong player. So, I think the important thing to remember is that sevens is seven fast guys, just three of them in the scrum, the rest are in the backs, and you've got teams like Canada and Great Britain, Ireland, who might not necessarily be out there challenging at a 15s Rugby World Cup, but could knock you over in the blink of an eye in seven. So it's a really exciting clash. We also see a lot of the Polynesian countries dominating. Fiji have been incredible at sevens. They've got two, Olympic gold medals. Samoa, and I even played a test match, a sevens match against Cook Islands. So because there's less players, there's less need for the set pieces that you have in 15s. It's a fantastic open game, and I've said this before. I think I said to you guys last week, it's a really hard game to predict. So I love watching it, and I love the excitement. I think what we see now, especially with HSBC putting in time and effort into the sponsorship, is it's going to get better and better, and it'll become a representative game for a long, long time at Olympics and Commonwealth Games.
Okay, and then in a few words, what was your favorite part of playing sevens when you played?
Well, you got to remember, I played sevens when I was 20 years old till about 23, and we'd only just got started in touring and playing in these tournaments around the world. So the best part for me was touring. I mean, I went to Dubai, to England, Ireland, to Australia, to New Zealand, and played in these incredible tournaments. Saw the world, met friends, played against great players, because there was still a crossover of a lot of players. I mean, we had Andre Venter, Rassie Erasmus, Joost van der Westhuizen, Brayton Paulse, and myself, Peter Rousseau, all playing in the Andre Snyman, all playing in the sevens team that went to Hong Kong, and that year we'd all played in the Springboks team. So we had a bit of crossover of both. The favorite part was definitely touring and seeing the world.
Right, and then you mentioned Springbok players playing for sevens. Olympics next year. If you were to try and take a sevens team consisting of the current Rugby World Cup squad, the 33 players that went now, what would a sevens team from them look like to go to the Olympics for you?
Well, it's a bit of a tough one. I think I would probably leave behind the tight five. Except for, it depends. Deon Fourie would probably be a very, very good sevens player, and maybe some of the loose forwards would be very good. In fact, I'd take Kwagga Smith definitely, He's played sevens before. I would take Cheslin Colby, Kirtley Orange. I'd take Canon Moody, but I'd probably play him at prop in sevens. I would take Damien Delendi, definitely. He'd also play in the forwards in sevens. Probably Willie Leroux, and then, one of Faf de Klerk. And I wouldn't leave out Grant Williams because he's so flippin' fast. He'd be a great exponent of the sevens game. So that's almost a squad in and of itself. And then all the extra backs who are around, my pimps, definitely, Lucanio definitely. I'm trying to think now. Was there anyone else that I would have definitely taken? But I think that's good enough. That's about a 10-man squad.
Right, there we go. And then speaking of the Olympics, the Blitzbok didn't have the best season last season. New coaches and management, I think, obviously be part of it. A bit of a new generation. A couple of other players sort of making the return. Do you expect them to be a bit more settled this season?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I think, for their sake, obviously there was a change in coach, and there's been a lot of change in management, and the structure. There's a new structure with the sevens format, etc. So I think they will settle. I think we get a lot of young kids coming through on a yearly basis who are going to be very good at sevens. I think the Blitzboks have had so much sort of good results, so much success in sevens over the years. They'll be able to repeat that pretty quickly. You can imagine they had 4 or 5 years in a row at the top, at the crest of international sevens. So you're going to have a bit of a dip as you have change, and I think we'll be on our way back pretty soon.
So then, are you confident that come France, Paris next year, that they can emulate the box success there and come home with the gold?
Yeah, I think they've got a chance. I mean, every sevens tournament is different. I mean, I've played in tournaments where teams that shouldn't have come close to the podium have won it, and where teams that should have cantered away with it easily have been knocked out in quarterfinals. So sevens is you get one chance and you're in. I absolutely would back the Blitzboks to have a chance.
So sevens is, to draw some comparisons, a bit like sort of T20 cricket, and fast, exciting, lots of tries, and very quite easy to watch. And they've got this whole party atmosphere, and that's this whole new brand is to make it more exciting than ever. Do you think that rugby in general and World Rugby should be using sevens to start sort of broaden that global appeal and to start sort of growing the game across the world?
Yeah, I do. I think it's difficult to grow in tandem with each other when the game is different. I mean, I think sevens is you're so right. It's the sort of the party version of rugby, but these are still, quality individuals, quality players. So people sort of, they dress up and have, I mean, it's a weekend not to be missed. It's great fun because you get to watch quality rugby, but you also can take a couple of mates and, I've seen the dress up competitions and all over the world. Hong Kong was famous for people, winning dress-up competitions at work, and then coming into sevens and expounding on that dress-up and dressing up with hundreds of people looking the same thing. So I think it. And the reason I say it's difficult is because you're marketing more than one thing. You're marketing a weekend away. You're marketing time with family. You're marketing time with friends. As opposed to I like my 15-a-side rugby and I just want to watch that. So sevens is on a journey, and I think it's on a great journey. I think it's getting more people excited about the game and watching the game. I know my girls, and I've got teenagers, they love sevens because, for a true aficionado of the game, 15s might end up being a 7-6 victory. We'd all be delighted as the 1-point Springbok winners if that was the case. But someone who hadn't seen the game wouldn't necessarily feel it was all the excitement they could have had. Whereas sevens, you've got all of those nuances, some cracking tries, some length of the field stuff, and some personal skills from all the players.
Right, and then last one, I'm going to ask you to make a prediction here. Both our SA, the men's side and the women's side, involved this coming weekend in Cape Town. Where do you see either side finishing up?
Well, I think that the nice thing is they've had a canter out, they've had a run out in Dubai. They'll start to understand the strengths of the team. They'll know how to, use the home crowd to their advantage. They will have seen that sort of party atmosphere and how the crowd gets behind the team that's scoring the tries. And certainly, you know, in my experience, Cape Town has been one of the best destinations, best venues for sevens around the world, and has really opened up the eyes of people to Cape Town as a destination. So I think they'll grow with that support. They'll make sure that they are, you know, looking after possession when they need to, because, you know, that has been a problem over the first weekend, is that even the best teams, you know, losing quality possession. You get some of the teams, like I said, breakaway teams, you know, really scaring the top 4, top 5 teams in the world, and running them close. And they'll want to look after a home draw and manage their way all the way through to a final.
Well, there we go. Yeah, there'll be nothing better than to watch both those sides go nice and far this weekend, especially the BITDEFENDER, the men's side, who have threatened to win it in the last couple of years, can come close, and hopefully they can get over the mark this weekend. Bobby, thanks so much, as always, for your time, and enjoy watching all the rugby this weekend, and hopefully in Cape Town we're going to see a lot of success for our South African sides.
Brilliant. Enjoy. Just remember that Cape Town pitch has been upgraded and improved. There's going to be some long-range tries. Don't miss them. Have fun.
Brilliant. That's a good point, actually. Very much looking forward to it. Thanks a lot.